Let me hit you with an uncomfortable truth. Most people do not pick a handgun with logic. They pick it with emotion. They pick it with fear of being undergunned, or fear of fumbling under stress. And in 2026, that fear is louder than ever, because when the moment shows up, your hands do not feel like your hands. Your brain does not sound like your brain. You do not rise to the occasion. You drop to your level of training. That is why this is not really about 9mm versus 357 Magnum. It is not about charts. It is not about internet mythology. This is about what you can run when your heart is trying to kick through your ribs. 17 rounds in an optic, or 6 rounds in a cylinder you can read like a speedometer, slide, or cylinder. Today we are stripping away brand loyalty, and we are talking about which machine actually fits you. The Manual of Arms, simplicity versus speed. The Manual of Arms is the language you speak with your firearm. In a calm gun shop, almost anything feels easy, but when the adrenaline hits in a real encounter, your fine motor skills fall off a cliff. You need a machine that matches your training level, because in 2026, a checklist running in your head is a liability you cannot afford. With a revolver, the Manual of Arms is wide open and obvious. Cylinder swings out. You can see the brass. Close it up, and the gun is ready to work. No external safeties to hunt for. No slide to run. No magazine release to bump by accident when your hands are shaking. It is an honest machine. You can read its status at a glance, and when you need it to fire, you press the trigger. That takes very little mental bandwidth, which makes it the top option for someone who wants protection, without having to become a tactical athlete. A semi-auto is a more complicated engine of moving parts. To get it running, you need to seat the magazine with real authority so it locks. You need to run a stiff slide to chamber a round. And a lot of guns also mean managing a manual safety or a trigger-mounted safety. Yes, once it is running, it can be incredibly fast, but it also introduces more failure points for the unpracticed shooter if the magazine is not fully seated, or you short-stroke the slide because your hands are slick with sweat. That pistol turns into a very expensive club. If you want a gun that stays simple when panic shows up, or you want something a non-shooter in your home can grab and understand instantly, choose the 357 Magnum. If you are the dedicated trainer, and you will put in thousands of repetitions until the system is automatic. Choose the 9mm, the bad breath distance contact shots. We all like to picture defensive encounters happening across a parking lot. Clean distance, clear sight picture. Reality is uglier. A lot of after-action reports, case studies, and training trends in 2026 suggest plenty of fights happen at bad breath distance, where the attacker is literally on you, grappling for control, inside that phone booth range. The physics of how a gun cycles changes completely. The revolver is the undisputed king of the grapple fight, because the cycle happens internally. A 357 can still function even when the muzzle is jammed into a torso at contact distance, and it can keep cycling through the cylinder. Nothing on the outside has to travel to set up the next shot. You are not dealing with a slide trying to run into clothing, or into an attacker's arm. Things that can choke a semi-auto instantly. It is a contact-ready system that does not care how messy it gets. The semi-auto has a big Achilles heel up close. The slide. If you press a 9mm pistol hard into a target, that pressure can shove the slide back just a few millimeters. That can take the gun out of battery, which effectively disconnects the trigger and leaves the gun useless until you create space again. On top of that, if a shot breaks while the gun is pinned into a jacket or an arm, the slide can snag fabric, and you can end up with a stovepipe jam, which can leave you with a single-shot pistol in the middle of a fight. If your main worry is home defense in tight hallways, or personal protection where someone might tackle you, choose the 357 Magnum. The capacity paradox, 6 versus 17. This is the modern anxiety. We live in an era where people worry about multiple attackers and civil unrest. So ask yourself this: do you trust yourself to land 1 or 2 perfect shots? Or do you want a high-capacity buffer for when things go sideways and accuracy falls apart? In a standard revolver, you get 6 rounds. That creates a hard mental ceiling. It forces you to be intentional. It is the one shot, one problem-solved philosophy. The 357 is a serious power plant, and against a single thread. 6 rounds is statistically more than enough, but the big mistake is assuming you will stay composed like a Hollywood hero. Miss twice, and you just burned 33% of your life insurance, and reloading a revolver under pressure. That is one of the toughest skills in the game to master. In 2026, 15 to 17 rounds is the industry standard for a reason. That capacity gives you room to breathe during an adrenaline dump. When fine motor skills fail, and your accuracy might drop into that 20% range, it lets you handle multiple threats, or keep an attacker's head down while you move to safety. The 9mm gives peace of mind that you are less likely to run dry in the first 4 seconds of a confrontation. If you live urban, where multiple attackers are a statistical reality, or you are genuinely worried about civil unrest, choose the 9mm. The administrative tax, strength and ease of use. Not every shooter in 2026 has the hand strength of a pro athlete or a 20-year-old tactical enthusiast. The administrative tax is the physical work required just to prep the gun for a fight. If the machine demands more strength than you can deliver during an adrenaline dump, it is not a tool, it is a liability. With a revolver, there is no slide to battle. For a senior shooter, or someone with arthritis, getting it ready is low effort and high dexterity. Button press, cylinder swings out, rounds drop into chambers. No wrestling a recoil spring to chamber that first round. But the tax does move to the trigger finger. Double action is heavy, 8 to 12 pounds, for a lot of folks. One finger managing a press is easier than the whole hand trying to rip a slide back. To get a 9mm pistol into action, you usually have to overcome a stiff recoil spring to chamber a round. In 2026, we are seeing more owners who shoot 9mm accurately, but still struggle to rack the slide under stress, or when hands are sweaty. Also, loading 9mm magazines to full capacity can take real thumb strength or specialized tools. If you cannot mechanically run the slide or the magazine, that gun becomes a paperweight when you need it most. If you have limited hand strength, grip problems, or you want something a grandparent can run without a fight, choose the 357 Magnum. The maintenance and neglect reality, wet versus dry. Some guns are high-maintenance thoroughbreds. They demand attention. Others are tractor-grade tools. They are fine being ignored in real life. A lot of defensive firearms spend 99% of their time in a drawer or a holster. How they handle that neglect decides whether they work in the 1% moment that matters. A revolver is a dry system. It is gear-driven, and it does not depend on the previous shot's energy to cycle the next one. It does not need to be dripping in oil to run. A 357 can sit in a bedside drawer, a car's glove box, or a holster for 5 years without being touched. And when you finally grab it, there is a strong chance that mechanical clockwork still turns, because there are no thin lubricants evaporating or turning into sticky glue over time. It is the ultimate insurance policy for someone who is not a gun hobbyist. A semi-auto is a wet system. It relies on a slide reciprocating over metal rails at high speed. To do that reliably, it needs lubrication. If a 9mm sits for years, oil can migrate, dry out, or collect dust and lint. That can form sludge, slow the slide, and cause a jam. It demands a maintenance schedule. Clean it, re-oil it every few months, so the engine does not seize when you need it to start. If you want a gun that stays ready even if you ignore it for years, choose the 357 Magnum. If you enjoy the ritual of maintenance and you want a modern high-performance tool, choose the 9mm. The snub-nose trap, barrel efficiency. In 2026, concealment is king, so people buy the smallest versions of these guns. But here is the brutal truth about barrel length. The shorter the barrel, the more energy you lose. Some rounds handle that loss like a champ. Others fall apart. This round is powder hungry. It was built for its legendary power in 4-inch to 6-inch barrels. Where slower powders have time to build pressure, fire a 357 out of a 2-inch to snub nose, and the powder can still be burning as the bullet exits. You get a huge blinding fireball. You get an ear-splitting blast, but not much real velocity. 9mm uses faster powders. They hit peak pressure quickly. Because of that, A 9mm fired from a 3-inch subcompact holds onto a big chunk of its muzzle energy. Chronograph tests people are running in 2026 tend to show that in ultra-concealable pocket guns. 9mm is often the more efficient ballistic engine than the Magnum. You get better expansion and penetration, with far less flash and noise. For a pocket-sized or subcompact concealment gun, where every inch of barrel matters, choose the 9mm. The training wall. Recoil and flinch. You will always perform better with a gun you actually like shooting. In a high-stress moment, your range habits become your reality. If your practice is pain and frustration, you will build a flinch, that subconscious trigger jerk. Right before the bang, pain is the enemy of accuracy, and in 2026, more shooters are realizing stopping power means nothing if the bullet misses. This is a violent, high-pressure snap. In the lightweight, easily concealed revolvers that dominate the market, recoil is punishing for most people. Big muzzle flip, vibration straight into the small bones of your hand. That often creates a nasty flinch, where the shooter anticipates the sting and yanks the shot low or wide before the hammer falls. For many folks, 357 becomes a 5 shots and I am done gun, and that is the opposite of what mastery requires. A semi-auto slide works like a mechanical shock absorber. As it cycles rearward, it spreads recoil over more time, turning that Magnum snap into a manageable push. Even in subcompact 9mm pistols, it is noticeably more pleasant. That makes it fun, and fun creates longer range sessions and more reps. When you enjoy the process, you watch the sights, not the pain, and competence rises fast. If you want to fire 100 rounds in an afternoon without a sore wrist and without building a flinch, choose the 9mm. The Versatility cheat code, 38 Special. This is about growth and platform longevity. A gun that can change personality to match your skill level or your physical condition. That is a rare asset in 2026. We want tools that adapt as you go from beginner to expert, or as you get older and your tolerances change. This is the ultimate 2-in-1 gun, because the 357 Magnum case is basically a longer version of the 38 Special. You can train with softer, low recoil 38 Specials to build fundamentals, then switch to full power 357 Magnums for carry. It is like having a training wheel setup and a race car setup in the same frame. For a new shooter, that is a huge advantage. You can learn the trigger, learn the grip, without fearing Magnum recoil. Then step up whenever you are ready. Yes, you can find softer shooting 147 grain loads, or higher pressure plus P rounds. But the mechanical feel and recoil impulse of 9mm stays mostly the same. You are largely locked into one ballistic experience. There is no true junior version of 9mm, not one that meaningfully cuts the noise and snap for beginners. You learn the full power engine from day one. And that is a steep curve for people sensitive to noise or vibration. If you are new and you want a gun that can grow with you, or you want the option to downshift to lighter rounds for practice, choose the 357 Magnum. 2026 logistics. The cost of practice. In the economy of 2026, price per trigger pull is the most honest predictor of future skill. Skill is perishable. It needs constant refills at the range. If ammo cost makes you hesitate to train, you picked a platform that is working against your survival. You will usually pay about double for a box of 357 compared to a box of 9mm. It is becoming more of a specialty round. It uses more brass, more lead, more powder, and because production volume is lower, you pay the Magnum tax. That means for every $100 you spend training, the 9mm shooter is getting twice the repetitions and twice the muscle memory. In a world where training is king, 357 puts you at a financial disadvantage. 9mm is the global currency of shooting. It is made by the billions, across every continent. In 2026, it is often among the first calibers restocked after a shortage, and often among the last calibers to see a price hike. That availability lets you train hard without going broke. You can afford 500 rounds a month and maintain a surgical level of skill. A once-in-a-while 357 shooter can only dream of that volume if you are on a budget, but you want high volume. professional level proficiency, choose the 9mm. At the end of the day, this .357 Magnum versus 9mm argument is not about which bullet looks deadlier in a lab. It is about which machine you can run when your heart is at 160 beats per minute and your life is on the line. .357 is the gear-driven hammer. For people who value mechanical certainty, raw one-shot power, and a gun that still works through neglect. 9mm is the high-speed scalpel. For people who value capacity, modern efficiency, and the ability to train twice as much for the same money. Stop chasing internet myths and get honest about your training habits. The best caliber is the one you actually have on you. And even more importantly, the one you can truly hit with under pressure. Thanks for watching, and remember, stay